How's everybody doing today? So, just gonna be a short stream. It's pretty late. I'm not gonna be looking at anything specific. Actually, rather, we are looking at something specific. We're looking at until July 18th. We're gonna backtest until until it gets to July 18th. So that is next week Monday. Right now we have a CPI on the Wednesday. We can well, we can take this out. I'll take most of these out actually. Yeah, okay. We're gonna mark out the slow. Then we're gonna mark out these will still stay in the chart. Alright. So sort of consolidating here. Inside self-equilibrium with the range. Sort of consolidating right now. Could see some sort of... Oh wait, oopsies, I've just messed something up. 15 minutes. Gotta go to 8:30. Okay. Alright, so we're at the SIBI low. We are at the SIBI low. We have the new day, or the gap void. What? Right. It's 1 hour here. Yes, is on the left side, by the way. I'm going to be paying attention to most likely NQ, because it's following what I'm wanting to see. I'll take a look at DXY right now, but we're just going to assume that it is bullish. Let's go to the 1 hour. Oh, yeah, then again, we're sort of consolidating, so maybe not. Maybe we won't assume that. Yeah, we're kind of just consolidating. Oops. 15 minutes. What the hell? Oh wow. Yeah, end up pumping. Gotta delete this. So we're looking at the 15 minute. So I've taken out, don't wanna, so not hourly here, we have relatively good lows that we've taken yesterday, looks like. Yep. Start buy side up here, still inside. Oh, look at this gap here. I want to see price just really just come higher, honestly. I don't really have anything for lower at the moment, but yeah, a lot of the confluence is telling me that we are looking to go higher. So we're gonna play a few candles. Okay, we immediately dump. Wouldn't call this a entry. I'm just gonna let chart play here. We have relative equal lows. Could come over that to the mark them out just in case. We ended up disrespecting all those gaps here. Looks like. Yeah, we still have those relative equal lows as well, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a draw right now. So we are ending up bullish. Probably not going to take anything here, most likely. Price doesn't look all bearish. I mean, yeah, it does actually, but in terms of the draw on liquidity, yeah, not really. I think it's probably best to just skip the session. So no trade there. Perfectly fine. I'm gonna go to Fox Factory. We have PPI at 8:30, so I'm gonna go back 15 minutes. Sorry, 1 hour. It's 8:30. Okay. And it's not the same. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is supposed to act as support or resistance right now. Let's actually take a look at my notes. Is this only for the week actually? I'm not sure. I think I'd have to look at the dollar index. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'd play this honestly. Like, probably look for one of those that sell side, most likely. Yeah. Let's see. 830, we come lower, we form some sort of SMT, not really. I mean, actually, yeah, we do have SMT here. But to be fair, we had it ages ago. Still not taking out that low. We've got that SMT on the daily chart. Not sure what the XY is doing. We should have the XY. Matter of fact, Thursday, 14th of July. Okay, and then go to 2022, July, day 4, Thursday 14th. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Then we'll go to the 15-minute. I haven't looked at the chart yet. Okay. Go to DXY here. Okay. DXY is at all-time highs. 14th July 2022. So we expect it to come lower. Risk on situation here for the week. Day. Could have added euro dollar. Oops. It's fine. But yeah, it does look pretty bearish here. Following that bearish trend. It's the SMT at these highs. Not really. Oh wait, this is the S-ups. Bro, what? Hello? Simple error? What are you talking about, bro? Okay. Yeah, no sort of weakness. I mean, there is weakness, but more so on in terms of to actually know what sort of range I'd be using here. Go back to the 1 hour. Right now I'd be this. Range high. Take up buy side here. This would be it. That. Okay. Already made equilibrium there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're taking up buy side there, so we just sit from there. Go to 5 minute. Oh, actually, swing high. There we go. Now we use it to find that. See, 830. Possibly want to do something here. 830 manipulation to the upside. That's what I really want to see. Got relatively equal lows. Sort of. Already met equilibrium. Taken out. Not taken out, but like we tapped a premium order block. Possible entry is here, but I'm not too much of a fan of that. Not near any sort of gaps that I'm looking at. Yeah, not really near that. Probably want to see. It's 8:30, right? Do you have anything else on the week? No. Okay. So could definitely see some sort of expansion here lower. I was trading view. We've got SMT at the highs. I mean, right now it's looking pretty bearish. That's depending on if this order block wants to head lower. So the order block there. Some levels of buy side is taken, but the order block is still there anyway. Like bullish or bearish. Kind of make a. No, I can't. Although this price action does look a bit choppy, I will say. I'll be taking the entry off the one that makes sense the most for me. That'll be this asset. Lower size because it is a bit unsure for me. Okay, go trail. Go trail more. Holy. Yeah, definitely was oh, that was NQ. Oh shit. Probably could have expected that. But yeah, I mean that's just a bit more of a risk management thing. I'm fine with that. W for the day, I guess. Let's see, ES wants to get those equal lows. We take that then. And then we seem to dump a bit more. I mean, we could possibly get a. Can we get a reversal here? I mean, relative equal lows taken. Yeah, we definitely could get a reversal here, but that'll be a bit scuffed. We're kind of reversing this whole movement here. DXY is bearish as well. ES just sort of rolling down. Draw is already taken, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean we could reach for these lows, I guess, but Let's see. Trailing higher, it looks like. Oh, wow. Okay. So we take out those relative equal lows and then come back into the range. Alright. Next session. And this is the last day. Yep. Last day, and then either we go to sleep or. Okay, we had a nice little wick. Again, the same sort of areas here that I'm looking at. Time 8:30. So about 15 minutes. Oh, good God. 10:15. I haven't looked at it yet. I promise. Alright. Okay. So 10:15. We have on the daily taken out these relative equal lows for our sell side, and we've wicked back up into the range. So I'm a bit more bullish here. Probably up until this order block, or I'll use this one. Or the CB low, actually, that works. I mean, okay, we'll look at it like that. Not really looking at any sort of buy side here. We have our SMT. And Q is the relative strength leader. Let's take a look at DXY. DXY, I mean, looks bullish to me. Got the hourly, a daily bullish order block. We're starting to get a risk off, so resistance from the futures indexes. So I want to probably see bullish here today, but looking like we're resisting that. We formed SMT here as well, so I'm going to be looking for buys most likely. And we've also, if we go to here, we look like we're coming higher from there as well. We've got this fair value gap on DXY, and could use that to come higher. Also relative equal highs here. So looks fairly bullish. Resistance from the risk off. Delete these. Then we've got the CB low, the new day or gap voids. So we'll see 8:30. Want to see us manipulate below a low of some sort. Actually, preferably these relative equal lows, but that low also works. Okay. There's our entry. Taking it up to most likely the city. Oh wait. Oh, actually, this line here, that should fairly good target. See, in terms of buy side, the wicks. I mean, we've got sort of data high here, so we'll use that, and we've also got relative equal highs up here. This high here of the gap void might prove to be some sort of resistance, not sure. But we'll be risking a little bit less here. Okay, end up just disrespecting all of that. Honestly, I'm pretty confident that this gap brings us higher. Yep, that is really just break even here. Honestly, yeah, break even here, and then you can get a look at. So checking out these highs, we have these highs still. So entry is off the gap void. We sort of accumulate orders here. That's why I longed here instead of this gap here. So looking at stop to be moved up to this. I'm expecting that whole range to be filled in. Can expect that now. Okay, yep. And wow, that is full take profit. Holy shit. That's a W trade. Absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal logic, phenomenal everything. We still have 10 AM though still, so we could still use that to come higher, but taking my piece of the pie, we've taken off our profits at the buy side. Let's see if we end up coming higher. Okay, come lower there. Let's actually go back to the daily here. Do we use the Civi high? No, we don't. Okay. So that could be, in my opinion, the last sort of draw to close off that Civi high again. But yeah, we will see. Gonna full screen this. Okay. Civi high is taken. Do we reverse from there? Yeah, we do. Look at the precision, folks. Look at the precision. Again, recap the trade. Accumulation of buy orders in this liquidity void gap. Sell side taken where at this low of this sell side or liquidity void gap. We're respecting, look at that body there. We're respecting that. I come higher, market structure shift for a value gap. My initial entry was going to be here, but looking at this gap void, we don't really need to get up to there because this is where the bulk of the orders are going to be. Right at this gap high, the void gap high. So long there, trail, and then trail. When I get up to here, trail, trail, could trail here. Although I think that is the riskier play. I think trading here is actually the best option. But yeah, bro. 220. I want to leave it in a good note. Don't wanna mess my brain up, I guess. But let's take a look at the price actually here. Take a look at the 18th to the 22nd. We have no news Monday. let's take a look at the chart here. Looks fairly bullish. Take a look at DXY, see if it actually rejected off of that. We didn't. Okay, it's interesting. I should have added euro dollar. In fact, we'll do that now. Then the DXY, then NQ and ES. 2022 July. Okay. All right. I think this is Monday now. Nope. It's Monday. Okay, so we'll take a look at the euro dollar. We're on Orlando. Of course we are. Okay. So we've got the weekly looking like this. I mean, either way, we are. Wait, oh man, that kind of. Does that kind of ruin it? I mean, anyhow, the daily looking pretty bullish. I mean, for these few days, perhaps we get down to this imbalance there. Same thing here. All right. Doesn't look like. Oh yeah, we've taken pretty major sell side, so we could get a rebalance of this range here. So dollar coming down, unless I'm thinking that the assets go up. So either way, I kind of do it for the wrong reasons earlier, but I think either way I would have looked at, if I had the dollar, looked at it in a bullish perspective. So anyhow, let's go back to NQ. Yes, I will do this last day just for the fun of it, I guess. We have no news Monday. Then we can do this. Okay, there's some TV here as well. So dollar bearish, assets, or index futures bullish. So hourly, we have relatively cool lows up here, and if we look at ES, look where it is at, we have these levels here, the liquidity voids, and also the city high. So I'm going to be focusing more on ES here. Definitely think that with 15 minute. So consolidating around this area. Go to the hourly actually. Haven't taken out any major points of buy side yet. We can expect this busy to push us higher. to the 5-minute, and we're just sort of consolidating around that gap high. We have relative highs up here. We're going to let 930 give us the framework. We've taken out, we want to take out sell side there, and also let me just take a look at 7 a.m. So there's 7 a.m. we kind of had some sort of an expansion move. We have SMT now as well, which is looking rather nice here now. Want to see most likely some sort of long towards that right side. Double check. Yeah, we've got SMT there as well. Okay. If it manages to give us it. Want to see some sort of a model. Give us that though. Oh, SMT with the highs here. Although, doesn't really matter, in my opinion. Still think that we're gonna go higher. So, sort of consolidating here now. We've actually got a model here which aligns with the gap high, so I'm actually going to take this. It doesn't look too bad. No news Monday. Gonna be de-risking a little bit here. SMT at these highs here. Oh, low, sorry. SMT at these lows here. Oops. Level makes sense to me. We're at that gap void high. So I want to see this give us a push higher. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's fine. Don't do it. Let's see what happens here. Don't really actually, just kind of. Oh. Yes, definitely a little bit weaker than, or energetic than NQs, but sort of just consolidating around this area. We end up going lower during PM. Actually forming a value gap here. We might trade the PM as well. But where are my draws though? Definitely not all the way down, I'll tell you that much. So rejecting off that city high as well. This is the city high. So we'll get to 130. Okay, we end up using that gap void low. Looks So oh my god, we just went dump lower. Okay, great. So it's good to me in Q. Oh my gosh, holy dump of the century. What the fuck? And no news Monday as well? I would not expect this. Good god. How do you even expect this, bro? Yeah, I have no idea. Let's take a look. What happens now? Oh my gosh. Bro, how much did we dump, bro? But what? 60? Oh, wait, this yes. God damn, bro. What do we end up doing? We end up going higher. After tapping, what do we do? Okay, that's not Civi low, looks like. Using that Civi low as support. So hanging around here. And then the low come higher. Possibly for these highs. But I don't know. Anyhow, let's take a look, just skim through the video.
Hello folks, welcome back. Back in the saddle again. Now it's been a little bit of a wait for an upload and update from Go ICT, but I'm human and sometimes my body just doesn't want to do what it's asked to do. And I've been battling back spasms and migraines, so I've not been feeling well. So I have not been able to start the new Ends series that I'm going to have on this YouTube channel, so Lord willing I'll be working on it this week. The first episode, if I can get it all sorted out and outlined as I want it, I don't know how many episodes it'll be, so don't ask that because I don't know. But the first episode should be, if everything goes well, this Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And I think we'll go like once every week. So Friday night upload for that particular series. All right, so I've been out of the loop for a little while. When I'm away from the marketplace, I get detached, and it takes a few days for me to get back in sync with things, work out sentiment, work out the kinks in my own analysis, and push away any kind of preconceived ideas that I would want to see in price, kind of wrestle that out. And how do I do that? I go through demo trades. Okay, I go in and I work with the demo account to get myself acclimated to the current market conditions. That way, when I'm doing things incorrectly, it doesn't harm me, it doesn't hurt me, it doesn't take anything out of my account, it doesn't cost me money, but it does give me the ability to hopefully get in sync. And then what happens is, when I feel acclimated to the present market conditions, then I'll go in and trade with the smallest leverage with a live account. Or 1 or 2 trades just to get, a feel for being back in the marketplace and not more or less chase profits. So I get that asked a lot, and there's your answer. So we're going to be working our way bottom up from the E-mini S&P today. Next time you watch me do some work in this in the morning session, and I'll cover a little bit of that here. All right, so we're looking at a 5-minute chart, and what I was watching is the lows here, and even the lower here, and a small little gap right in here. I watched it drop down at 8:30. We consolidated at 9:30. We got equities opening, and then we dropped down in. So if you look at the down close candle here, so this down close candle, and then this one dropping down into it to touch it, I was utilizing that as my mode of entry. So I was looking at kind of like a stacking effect with down close candles or my order block, and I wanted to see it go over this imbalance, which it did once, and then I wanted to see it expand and go through. It struggled with it. So in the recording, in the link you'll see in the description below this video, it'll take you to Twitter, and it's a short little vignette showing me executing the entry and then changing my mind, realizing I'm offside. That means I'm wrong. That means I'm not on the right side of the marketplace, and it doesn't necessarily mean I go reversing whatever trade I was in all the time. But because I'm trying to get back in sync with the marketplace, I want to be in the market continuously. Now, let me make sure you understand what I just said, because I'm not stating that you, as my students, should be going long, short, constantly in the marketplace. No. But for me, it allows me to get a feel for price action. It allows me to get in sync with price action. It gets me closer to price versus just sitting down in front of the charts and saying, okay, well, this is what I think might happen. Whereas if I'm engaging and I'm thinking about what it's doing while I'm in a pseudo trade, because today was a demo trade, I'm trying to seek more insight, a closer feel for what price is doing, because being away from it for a week or more, it keeps me from feeling confident with my own analysis. So that's the human side of me that, like you and everyone else, I wrestle with that. So I have to fix that and overcome it. The only way I know how to do it, and that's how I do it. I ease back into it using demo. Then once I get comfortable with where I am with present market conditions, where I think the market's going to likely draw to, then I'll ease back into live trading. So anyway, I was looking for the market to want to run back above this imbalance and then attack the buy side. And I was going to take a partial off on the 12 contracts I had long, and then reach for the objectives I hinted at as my interest for buy side, which was the July 8th and June 27th and 28th relative equal highs for buy side liquidity. And we'll see those in a couple minutes when we get into the video. But when we got to this point here and struggled, right on this candle here, I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm wrong. And then we close it, and it didn't stop me out. I didn't take a loss, quote unquote. Again, I couldn't take a loss anyway because it's a demo, but the idea was I was exiting the trade so that way I could reverse, because I started looking at the relative equal lows here, and I wanted to be taking 5 contracts off below that, and then You watched me do another partial, and then finally getting stopped out at the stop that I lowered down during the management of the reversal and short. Then it went sideways leading up to lunch, New York lunch. Then it fell out of bed during lunch hour. And then afternoon session, I just watched. I didn't really participate. I didn't do anything. While I felt it could potentially go a little bit lower, to take out the low of the day set overnight, I was not expecting all of this drop. So each time it created this, what I was doing is I was watching and observing, does it respect price going to these levels? The imbalance here hits it, and it's order block. Does it sell off? Yes. The created fair value gap, last two close candles, that's your bearish order block. Does it go up into that and hit that and sell off? Yes, it does. So when price is doing that, and I don't want to be in the marketplace, I don't trust my own analysis because I'm right back in the saddle today. So I'm not trying to get out here and flex. I'm not trying to prove to myself that, old man still got it. It's I'm easing back in because I've been away from charts. I've been away from price. I don't feel connected. So I'm watching price book like this. So it's allowing me to see price being delivered real time. I'm watching it. I'm seeing, does it react the way I teach my students, you all, to support the idea that order flow is bullish or bearish. And obviously it just kept sinking today. And I was impressed to see how far it went. And I would be doing a terrible disservice if I sat here and said, oh yeah, I knew it was going to go down that far, because I didn't. Like, I didn't know, I didn't expect it would drop that far. And obviously I went into the day with the expectation it would try to run for July 8th's high. And I was wrong, but you watched me navigate and reverse and get back in sync with what it was at least trying to do in the short term, which wasn't very much, admittedly, during the morning session. But then all the fireworks happened during lunch hour and then rolled around down into the low of the day. 15-minute time frame. Here is that imbalance also I was watching. So I was looking for the one that's going to drive higher, clear the buy side here. Partials would have been taken there. A partial would have been taken there. And then I would have tried to keep at least one contract long just to see if I could get this with a weekly range. Wasn't in the cards. It is what it is. I was wrong.
Wait, I'm thinking about, did we get the 15-minute structure shift up here? Oh wow, we did. Oh shoot. I mean, kind of. I'm not even gonna. I don't really wanna. I don't know about that displacement guy. We just ended up coming back up right away. I think I mean, the draw seems, well, even ICT said it was higher, right? But after dropping like this,
no problem. No skin off my back. I don't feel embarrassed. I don't feel like my methods don't work. I don't feel like my models are failing. It's just me, the operator, the trader, that is rusty at the moment because I've not been engaging price. So anyway, while I did not see this as a setup for entering a short, I wanted to see it overcome that, understanding that it failed to rally and go above this high. It should have took off. If I'm right, if I'm on side, it should have vaulted above here to run to the buy side. It wasn't doing that. It was not doing that. It's around 31 seconds or so into the video link that you see in the description. You'll see me change gears and collapse the trade and then go short. Now, the opening gap for the week is here. So I'm extending that through time all today. And that is where I thought, at best case scenario, that it would gravitate to that. Anything below that is additional that I was not expecting. So just below the low here, I was mentioning the early lows overnight. If it went lower, it should go there, take the sell side, and if it accelerates through that, well, here's the opening gap, which I've taught you recently. So it went to that, yes, and just kept on rolling. And we have an imbalance down here. So we have now a low, so that might be something to watch. I'm interested in that level as well. On the hourly chart, okay, here is the hourly imbalance again. That was the fair value gap I was looking for as it dropped down in. I wanted to see it trade above, partial here, next partial here, and then relative equal highs. Okay, so here's the June 27th, 28th, 2022 highs. And here's the high I mentioned. This is the two levels I was referring to in Twitter to study going forward. Now, they might be useful going forward the rest of this week, or they may not even be considered at all and may continuously just break lower and go back into this imbalance down here. I don't know that yet. Like I said, that's my first day back in the charts. I'm getting a feel for it. Right now, I feel like the first day where I knew my model, but I'm just out there using it for the first time. So if I can personify the feelings I have when I'm away from the marketplace, it feels like that. I know how to trade. I know what I'm looking for, but you still have to consider where you're at in the marketplace. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, why would you want to be buying here when you're all the way up to close to this high from down here? Well, it's shown exceedingly strong intentions to go higher. My private group knew about this. We went to that at the opening on Sunday, and then it filled the gap, and then it rallied. So in my mind, I'm thinking there really isn't anything over here that's needed to fill in. So the liquidity above this high makes the most sense to me. So that's why I wasn't worried about. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's not, it's not a make it or break it thing. And this is why I teach you the way I teach you, that being wrong or doing it wrong incorrectly, that shouldn't be feared. Because you're never going to obtain perfection. That's not going to happen. I can't do it. So if I can't do it, and I'm teaching you the concepts, I authored these things, and I can't reach perfection, why would you expect to be able to do so? That's unreasonable and unrealistic. So anyway, while in the afternoon I was expecting the likelihood of coming a little bit lower, a little bit is what I was expecting. This was a little more, much more actually, than I was expecting on the downside for today. So it's done a whole lot of movement lower. And to me, we have buy side here, and buy side here. Between this low and this high, we are in a short-term discount, but there's nothing in here that makes any sense to go long off of. Between this low and this high, we are in a short-term discount, but there's nothing here that makes any sense to go long off of. So I'm basically waiting for more information. We'll see how it trades overnight going into New York tomorrow, and then obviously I'll share with you on Twitter where my focal points are for liquidity. Basically kind of like tip my hand to you where I think bias is. So that's how I teach, I point, and my students study going forward. So let's continue on. The daily chart here. This range is where we're at, and we've taken sell side here, and we've taken sell side here. We have not taken buy side here or here. So to me, again, that's why I'm leaning on those levels that I shared, which is July 8th and June 27th, 28th, respectively. Okay, because those levels have not been traded to. Now, I could be completely wrong. It doesn't need to go up there. You know, in that case, I would be wrong. If it continues to go sideways or goes lower, whatever, I'm wrong. But it makes sense to me to want to eventually try to gravitate to those levels because we've already done sell side here. We did a pass through on this low for sell side there. And while we did have a nice return back here, we failed to go higher here. And today we couldn't get above here. Now that might be indicative of the beginning of a sell-off going into the rest of the week. I don't know that, folks. I don't know. So I'm trying to be transparent and honest with you as an educator because there are times I simply don't know. It may be a barrier internally that I'm wrestling with, that I'm seeing something that I think might be a factor, and I override the rules sometimes that I have that might not be the best decision. That's where I do it as the operator incorrectly, and I'll do it wrong that way. But sometimes that'll happen, and my experience will be rewarded, and I do that with quotes in the air, with me trusting my experience and then not adhering to my specific rules about a specific element of price that may or may not be something that you've learned from me that might deliver a result that I would find favorable. So it's a matter of personal experience. And sometimes that might be a good thing, and other times it may not be a good thing. So you can't really appreciate that, especially if you're a new student or a new trader, because there are times when you'll see something that isn't inside the model you're actually working with at the moment, but you'll engage price because you've been here before. You've done this before, and it's familiar to you. And you know you're trying to get, you're not trying to get a home run, you're not trying to get a whole lot of movement, you're just trying to get something to take it out and pay yourself. And that's kind of like what I did today. I had it wrong initially in the beginning of the day, and I compensated, closed the trade, reversed, and took what made sense to me. And you can see the results of that. But I'll talk a little bit about this trading range in a moment. The last time we talked about gold, I don't know exactly what day that is, but I'm quite certain that I did talk about it, and you all know that we were looking for this here. So you all know I was calling the dollar higher, and that's going to allow weakness on gold because they're inversely related. Okay, so there's a correlation between gold going lower, that means dollar going higher, vice versa. This market, let me preface it by saying that it is a event-driven market. It's highly manipulated. It's absolutely manipulated all the time, which means that you have to really consider it only when it's obvious to mess with it. And most times I'm not feeling confident trading it. Otherwise, I'd be in here doing all kinds of things with it. I'm not. So I mentioned how I felt the dollar's going to go higher, gun to my head. That means that we're going to aim for the sell side here. And then here, we've done that. Okay, so I didn't give you both sides of the marketplace. I told you, gun to my head, this is where I think it's going to go. We did that. Now, this is the remaining sell side liquidity pool. So because that has not been traded to, I feel that it could go down there. That means that dollar could still have a little bit more room on the outside. So just keep that in your back pocket. Just know that that's kind of like what I'm considering, but not necessarily pushing you into a trade idea. You just observe it and see what happens. I could be wrong. And finally, the bond market. Oh my goodness, it's been such a long time since ICT talked about the bond market. Even in our private group, we haven't been touching on this market. But the reason why the S&P market is consolidating right now is because you're seeing the same consolidation going on in the bond market. Interest rates are consolidating until this range gives way, either above or below. It's noted here. Index futures are going to be choppy. Okay, they're going to be in very, very small, tight ranges, and not tight ranges in terms of intraday, but in terms of the daily ranges. They'll be not trending where they're having like a movement like this. Okay, nice big runs. We're in this range here. So while interest rates are holding the market in a strangle or like a headlock, just be mindful that you have to be a very short-term trader. And things that I would normally do with a trending market, I'm not implementing right now because of this factor right here. Okay, if you go back and study how the bond market was when it was trending, and when it was allowed to move a lot, that's when index futures was moving a lot. Okay, try not to think too much about their agreement or inverse relationships of direction. I'm speaking specifically on the tone of the market being in trending or consolidation. Okay, so right now we're in consolidation. So in consolidation markets, you got to be thinking ultra nimble intraday trading, not short-term trading, not get in, hold it for a couple days, none of that kind of stuff. There will be moves that take place like that, but I don't trade like that when it's like this. This environment is a session day trade scalp. Okay, that means I'm looking for a specific run in price, either in the AM session or a PM session. I'm looking for one good setup. I'm not trying to go in there with multiple, orders to pyramid anything. I'm looking for one good setup, get the bag and run. Okay, that's all I'm trying to do. If I get one trade that's profitable, I'm not going to go back in the afternoon. Period. Okay, I'm treating myself like a kid in a candy store. If I let myself go nuts, I'm going to do a whole lot of things that might not be the best thing for me. When I have a trending market, I can go insane and run equity up real quick and build it, pyramid and all that. But in here, I can't do that and feel confident about it because it's choppy. We're in the summer months. Okay, so we're in the doldrums of the summer, and everything that's going on, and I'm not going to list all those things that's going on. You just know what's going on based on the headlines. All those things can create a run real quick because of an unexpected event. And just put some thought behind it, and you'll know what I mean by that. All those things keep me wanting to be very nimble. Okay, 5-minute or 1-minute chart setups only, not 15 hourly or daily candle for the daily range. I'm not interested in those things. Okay, which is why I was not able to see or expect the big down day that took place during the lunch hour in New York down into the close of today. So that's the reason why I was unable to see it, because my models switched me from trending to highly specific short-term little entries and getting in, getting out, surgical strikes. And I'm aware that there are going to be days where I will miss days that have runs, where it just keeps on going. I'm okay with that because they're not always going to fulfill or be in alignment with what I'm trying to do. Or let me rephrase it by saying, I will not always be in alignment with that. So as a trader, I'm not in that mindset that will allow myself to hold for a full daily range. Especially if my bias, as I was indicating this morning, that I wanted to see the buy side run too. But because it wasn't doing that, I changed what? I changed directions, and I also changed my style. It's going against what I expected. So therefore, I want to get out and be nimble because I might be wrong again. So I want to get below the sell side liquidity and take my profits. Aggressive, take partials, partials again, partials, and then stop. Insane and run equity up real quick and build it, pyramid and all that. But in here, I can't do that and feel confident about it because it's choppy. We're in the summer months. Okay, so we're in the doldrums of the summer, and everything that's going on, and I'm not going to list all those things that's going on. You just know what's going on based on the headlines. All those things can create a run real quick because of an unexpected event. And just put some thought behind it, and you'll know what I mean by that. All those things keep me wanting to be very nimble. Okay, 5-minute or 1-minute chart setup only, not 15 hourly or daily candle for daily range. I'm not interested in those things. Okay, which is why I was not able to see or expect the big down day that took place during the lunch hour in New York down into the close of today. So that's the reason why I was unable to see it, because my models switched me from trending to highly specific short-term little entries and getting in, getting out, surgical strikes. And I'm aware that there are going to be days where I will miss days that have runs, where it just keeps on going. I'm okay with that because they're not always going to fulfill or be in alignment with what I'm trying to do. Or let me rephrase it by saying, I will not always be in alignment with that. So as a trader, I'm not in that mindset that will allow myself to hold for a full daily range. Especially if my bias, as I was indicating this morning, that I wanted to see the buy side run too. But because it wasn't doing that, I changed what? I changed directions, and I also changed my style. It's going against what I expected. So therefore, I want to get out and be nimble because I might be wrong again. So I want to get below the sell side, as I was indicating this morning, that I wanted to see the buy side run too. But because it wasn't doing that, I changed what? I changed directions, and I also changed my style. It's going against what I expected. So therefore, I want to get out and be nimble because I might be wrong again. So I want to get below the sell side liquidity and take my profits. Aggressive, take partials, partials again, partials, and then stop was put in position where if it ran me out, I don't care. it wasn't going to take anything from the demo equity. Okay, so again, it's not trying to produce the idea or promote the idea in you as my. I miss directions, and I also getting in, getting out, surgical strikes. And I'm aware that there are going to be days where I will miss days that have runs where it just keeps on going. I'm okay with that because they're not always going to fulfill or be in alignment with what I'm trying to do. Or let me rephrase it by saying, I will not always be in alignment with that. So as a trader, I'm not in that mindset that will allow myself to hold for a full daily range. Especially if my bias, as I was indicating this morning, that I wanted to see the buy side run to. But because it wasn't doing that, I changed what? I changed directions, and I also changed my style. It's going against what I expected, so therefore I want to get out and be nimble because I might be wrong again. So I want to get below the sell side liquidity and take my profits. Aggressive, take partials again, partials, and then stop us, put in a position where if it ran me out, I don't care. It wasn't going to take anything from the demo equity. Okay, so again, it's not trying to produce the idea or promote the idea in you as my student that you have to be in all the time. If you're not profitable going long, that means go short. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, that's not what I was trying to convey today. I just saw something that made sense going opposite direction, and there it is. So you can see how I can get it wrong, but even in instances where I'm wrong, if I understand what I'm done wrong, I can reverse and work with that information. I'll leave it up to you whether it was something worthwhile. But I did not see the afternoon unfolding the way it did. Okay, so that way we are aware that I'm not claiming that. I didn't claim that, didn't say it in advance, and I'm 100% transparent with you. I did not expect that much of a cascading in price. So that's okay. I'll get more probably throughout the week, and I'll take my pound of flesh before Friday. I'm certain of it. But until I talk to you next time, be safe.
It's ICT guy, bro. Really grinding my gears, bro. But let's take a look at that. That's actually pretty interesting. In terms of the bond market, like being trendy or not, that is actually extremely useful, in my opinion. But let's go back to the 15-minute here. Let's got this high. Probably when I start to um, where's my entries? Oh wow, okay. Well, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Probably want to see it run, um, not dilly dally there. Yeah, when I saw that gap close above the void gap as well, then it was more of a obvious thing. But yeah, okay. So could have possibly taken myself out here then. I got stuff out 46, yeah. So I could have taken myself out here with minimal um minimal loss, and then followed order flow in terms of it not respecting what I'm wanting to see. It can be bearish during the PM session. Look at the 5-minute. We can take a look here. 130. Take an entry here. Take an entry maybe at 2. But either way, can use we're gonna have to use this sell side here, so probably in this range. Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, these relatively close then. That's probably going to be the draw. So yeah. Alright. I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. Hope you guys have learned something. I definitely have. I'm gonna be taking notes on that video tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Probably 12:30. Oh, sorry, not 12:30, 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. We'll take a look at this week. We've got PMI on 9:45, so we'll see you guys at the market open. See you guys. Be safe. Peace.